Hi folks, SF23 at Spa. It is almost, you know, it is that good around here. Did enjoy this car practicing around here. Race is going to be interesting because of the two straights, so the one sort of coming up Rouge, Raidillon down that straight and coming through Blanchimont down the back straight, we're actually hitting VMAX. So in the fixed setup, we are actually hitting the top of 6th gear. So overtaking is going to be interesting, to say the least. Otherwise, good luck out there, so let's crack on with it. Right then, fast lap done and dusted, and let me show you the rule tab. Always have a gander at this if it does have it on certain tracks around iRacing, because it will tell you exactly where the off tracks are and the slowdowns. So really maximizing how much track we can use is obviously is also sort of in line with gaining lap time. So it's always very, very useful to have a look through there and see what you can get away with. Info tab for you, we are using the fixed Spa setup, which we follow the fixed series. The open session will be a little bit quicker, but obviously top speed is going to be the same, so braking distance are going to be similar, so things like that. So it's still a good guide for the open series. Track temp of a cool 79 Fahrenheit, which is quite nice, and a moderate use of 45%, which usually I have 44, so that's what I always use for these track guides, just to pick a number in the middle. Now the lap I'm going to show you is not my fastest lap, which is a 153.2. We set a 153.4 here. It is actually going to be lap 17, so I pitted for fuel, came out, and I did a 153.654 on a relatively full tank on the fixed setup, obviously not on the open setup because that's a bit longer. So that's what I think I'll show you, because it's relatively competitive compared to my fastest lap, but also I've got a big, well, full-ish tank of fuel, so it's a little bit more relative of actual lap pace. But yeah, mid-wise, I'm making silly mistakes around here, particularly at a corner I will show you, where I'm understeering. I'm taking sort of the GT line, as I call it, where I'm taking a bit too much curb. This thing does not want to take that curb, so miss it and avoid the understeer. So I'll point that out in the breakdown when we get to it, so just bear that in mind. Don't drive this like you normally would a GT car, because it doesn't like the curbs that much. You lose and bounce and things like that. Rivage, the corner, which is, I don't know what number it is, I'll put it up on screen. Rivage, you lift up the front inside wheel and it bounces. So really going through there, you don't want to be trail braking. It kind of ruins your grip on turning. If one tire's up in the air, bouncing as well, it really affects it. So if you can stop trail braking through there, do it, because it will be better if the tire's spinning. Even if it's spinning in the air, it's stopping the other wheel from bouncing up and down. Anyway, geometry of suspension is always fun. I don't understand, but it's just what it feels like through the wheel. Anyway, what else do I show you? Downstairs, Discord link. If you want to join my Discord, the OLAP, BLAP telemetry and replay file will all be in there, so you can have a look. And also there are links downstairs in the description of Garage 61, which is a great little online telemetry tool where you can compare my lap with your lap. So it's really useful if you are looking for a little bit of speed as well. Very, very useful. Not affiliated with them, but just think it's a very, very good idea for track guides. Otherwise, I think that's enough of waffling. Let's crack on with the breakdown lap. Right, this thing around Spa, this is better Okayama, this thing around here. But anyway, we are approaching turn 1 and we use the 100-meter board. Stamp on the brakes in this one. Do not lock a front tyre because it will be bad news. And watch out for lap 1. Nice and easy, take loads of curb. Don't hit the wall, it's not good for the car. And then go on power nice and easy. Now, you can use boost out of this corner to boost you all the way down to Rouge and Raidillon. Now, wait to the end for my little tip. The little marshal post there, that's our turning point through here. It's absolutely flat out, even on cold tyres, so don't worry about that one. And we almost hit VMAX. Look at this, 186 I think we hit in the end. Anyway, keep the car over to the left-hand side, and just as we start to get onto the curbing, absolutely stand on the brakes in a straight line. This car has good brakes when the aero forces are very, very strong. A little bit of curve through that one, a little bit of curve through this one. Try and compromise this one, stay on the left-hand side. Do not touch this curb here on the left-hand side. It will spin the car, so bear that in mind. Little cheeky tickle of that curb there, and we should be full throttle nice and early. Don't run too far wide. There's gravel there, and we get messy quite quickly. Start of the curbing here on the left-hand side. Brake in a nice straight line, and then really ease off if you start turning in. Really, really easy to lock a tyre up on the way in. Keep nice and close to the curb, and you can see the car a little bit bouncy, so you want to get off the brake and let the car settle down through there to try and maximize the grip on the front end. Bring the car over to the right hand side of this for no name. As soon as you get to the curb, little lift, little graze of the brake, little cheeky tickle of the apex curb. You can run a little bit wide here, but don't run too far wide because there is an off track, so bear that in mind. Down to Pouhon now. It's very nearly flat out here. So at the little 13 marshal post there, little double brake, 5th gear, turn it in, little graze of the curb there on the left-hand side, and then absolutely full throttle. The second part of this is easily flat. Very, very fun corner when you get it right, and you get a ton of time out of this when you do get it nice and sweet as well. Don't run too much on that curb. It can bottom out the car. Next little curb here, just before it, you want to start braking. Brake onto the curb as well, trying to really open up this first corner. We want to compromise this one as best we can, so nice late apex. Stay hugging the curb on the right, and then you can open up this left hand a little bit nicer, and hopefully get on the throttle a little bit earlier to help you down to the final two important corners, I'd say. Start the curb here easily before the red and white curb. Brake onto it again nicely. Do not touch this curb here. I was doing that and running wide, so do not touch the curb. Stay on the nice flat tarmac, and you should be absolutely golden through there. Use a little bit of the exit curb as well, and then this corner is absolutely flat out. Don't worry about it in the slightest, but be careful of the off track on exit. If you cross onto the white line over there, it will be 1x. Down here, we will be using VMAX again, which is really, really annoying. So, yeah, if you're on the slipstream, you'll probably put it alongside them. Didn't try flat out through here. We're too wide, but when you're going one wide, it's easily flat, so don't worry about that. Too wide might be a little bit interesting. Yeah, who's the bravest at that moment? Anyway, last corner, way before the curbing starts there, a couple of car lengths before it. Brake nice and easy. You can probably brake harder than that, actually, to be honest, and take this curb. Do not take that curb too much because there's a sausage curb and it will hurt. Little double brakes for this one. Take nice and close to the sausage curb and then be easy on the power through here. The curb can be quite slippery here on the right-hand side, so feeding the power, you do wheel spin in 3rd gear as well, but the line does come up very, very quickly, so bear that in mind as well. But that's us across the line in a 1:53.654. So, my little tip, if you're still here, this is like nearly a 2-minute lap, and the cooldown, it's a 1:53 obviously, and the cooldown for our boost is 100 seconds. So, calculations and calculators out, you can use the boost every single lap for 15 seconds, give or take what your lap time is. So that means we can actually use the boost, turn it off for 15 seconds, give or take. I'll probably do 10 seconds. Use it for 10 seconds, turn it off, and then by the time we get back round, the cooldown should have been completed. So bear that in mind if you're racing people, that technically at turn 1, it's probably your best option to use the boost, but it means you might get overtakes into Rouge and Raidillon. So this is where using the boost out of the important corners down at the bottom, where I said the important last corners, turns 14 and 15, might be ideal to use it out there for 15 seconds, go through Blanchimont, which hopefully they'll, if you're ahead of them at that point, they should lean out of it, and then get them into the final chicane. So interesting tactics here. Do some calculations. Like I say, the boost is 200 seconds and 100 seconds cooldown. So again, you should have enough to use 15 seconds for each lap, even in the open class. So have a little think how you're going to use this. It will be interesting because once you've used it, you can use it at the same place all the time. Very, very interesting. I do like this circuit because it does enable this sort of strategy with the boost, which I do like, rather than what everyone seems to be doing is using it here and there and then using it for the last 2 laps of the race, which is a little bit, boring. But anyway, that's enough of me waffling. I hope that tip does help you out. I'm going to try it in the first race and see what happens. But yeah, fingers crossed we should have good racing around here. Slipstream, probably not a massive thing, but it will enable you to keep up with the pack like Fuji was. If this did help you out, don't forget to like and subscribe. I love YouTube stuff, and I will catch you on the next one.